electronic leashes.
In progress.
United States.
Application.
I'll second the
Samsung
motion to
messages.
approve.
Yes.
Dave said.
I second.
Now, any additional discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. ACC report.
Of course, we're reviewing ongoing new project reviews. The committee is reviewing the manual, similar to what was done with the rules manual a couple of years ago. We're going through it page by page, line by line, word by word, trying to remove any of we're trying to condense it and remove any discrepancies or incongruencies, and it's, I think, going well. I mean, it's almost painful, I guess, but we're getting there. We did find there is a spot where it says no split level or split foyer homes. We thought we would leave that in there. I don't know how, there's homes in here already, so it would be tough to defend. We revised the spreadsheet, and we're going through, there's projects that are from a couple of years ago that haven't had anything done on them, and there's outstanding balances or deposits, and so we're trying to reconcile all that and get everything up to date. So we got plenty going on that way. We have a variance, but I wasn't sure if that, do we want to ask about that now, or do you want to wait until new business? I thought it was supposed to be under new business. I'm not sure if those should be part of my report or if they should be new business.
Really doesn't matter to me. It's up to you whether you want to bring it in. It's still part of ACC.
Yeah. Can I do it in a minute because I want to look at something else?
So you want to wait?
Yes, please.
Okay. Roads report. No.
The roads report. We are going to have to do some minor pothole repairs after all of our salting and plowing come spring. I would also start to look at possibly trimming trees over the next month and a half to be the best for the trees, and I think we got some time, and maybe it'd be a good time to do it if we've got anybody that wants to do that as far as the guys. Probably be good to literally go through every part of Raintree and make sure the trees are trimmed back.
Or if people's got a request, turn in a request where you got a tree that's bad, you know, blocking the vision or by the stop sign or something, because we're gonna have some people helping us do some trimming and stuff starting soon.
As far as that, we had a couple repairs we had to do on the snowplow stuff. I would call it minor, but it had to be done on the fly. It was literally while the storm was going on. I think the parts were under $1,000 for that, and we've got a repair going on one of the salt boxes on the back. It literally started cracking up the back side of the salt box. So that is actually getting repaired as we speak. That should be about $800 for plating, welding, and adding another plate behind the vibrator on that box. So other than that, I think we're doing okay at this point. I'm still waiting for a apples to apples bid on the grass portion of stuff. We don't have that yet. But other than that, I think that's all I've got for roads.
Lakes and beaches?
Okay, I've been in contact with Aqua Control, the people that we used last year, and they gave us a bid, and it's just a little bit more than last year, and I'm gonna look for a couple more. And the Conservation Department's still putting me off on the lakes part, but we're in the process of getting bids and going forward with the lake treatment and all the lakes, similar to last year. And other than that, we need to get some people together for a Lakes and Beaches committee and start planning out our spring stuff.
And then Kent's getting me the number of the engineer to look at the dams. we'll get that to in-house engineer, and then if, we'll probably back that up with another engineer's. So we'll work on that as well. That's all I
Anything
got.
else? Okay. Security report, we've had some gates that were down. One this morning that was not operating correctly and somebody twisted it off and broke it in two, so. The older type arms are back in most of the gates, mainly because they're easier to put on. They don't weigh as much, they won't be as hard on our opening mechanisms. And we're trying to figure out some alternative to using the light structures, but I'm not holding my breath on that. With the wiring for the lights, when they get knocked off, it rips the wiring apart, and they have been respliced and double spliced and over spliced, and it's just a mess, so.
And the old arms are quite a bit lighter than those new ones were, so.
Yes, and again, I'm old and it's hard for me to let that out, hold it in place, put the bolts on, but we do our best to keep them closed when we can. Colder weather is hard on people as well as mechanics. And the lift mechanisms in those things do not tolerate the cold, since it doesn't really get very cold here. Well, at least compared to where I used to live. But it does wear on equipment and machinery. I used to live in Minnesota where our high temperatures were in the below zero and nighttime temperatures were 20 to 30 below. So there's big difference between 0 and 20 below. So much for my history. Communications report.
The only thing I have is that there was notices put on the bulletin board regarding road conditions and what streets to avoid because they were a sheet of ice, and keeping your vehicles off so they can plow. All I have.
Maintenance report.
Well, we're doing good. Everything's still running. We've got everything, new batteries, oil changed after the big snow event. We've got 100 tons of sand ordered. They've delivered 14 tons out of the 100 ton, and they're gonna start bringing more sand Monday. And so all of our equipment, as Dave says, we're up and running. We're getting a few things repaired, but overall, we've done pretty well.
Yeah. The only thing I want to add is we do have one truck that we need to really look at close, and that's our dump truck 550 Ford. If everything keeps going in this direction, I think that it would be nice to replace that truck in the next 12 months. And maybe find a good deal after winter's done, but it would be nice to have all three trucks running and confidently running. So if we drop one for any job that we do in here, we're still covered. Is that,
We have to have at least 2.
yeah, and we want all three, I think. But that's all I got.
Okay, I will have to call myself on a point of order. On the security report, it should have been security and technology. And Dave, I walked on your part of the report, so go ahead.
Which part? You covered the security part.
Technology.
As far as the technology, I'm still kind of working through some due diligence and understanding the infrastructure and the layout from edge to inside. John and I have been working together quite a bit and kind of doing some discoveries and things of that sort. And we're going to be getting ready to actually put together a technology security committee so we can start executing on some things there. We are looking for anyone with any technology or security background that wants to be part of the committee. We've got a pretty good list. I'm trying to track down contact information, so I may be reaching out to some folks. What else? On a communication perspective front, we have a communication strategy and a process where it's going to increase communication for the community. And I guess this is where I'd ask for the motion if we can go ahead and execute on that. There'll be some reaching out to the community and making sure some information is up to date using the CPM portal, emails, phone numbers, things of that sort. We'll also share with everyone what that looks like. Basically, it'll be a lot of communication, kind of like what you've seen before, but you will get them for meetings, informational, maybe wintertime emergencies, there'll be communications. And you may, again, start to see the newsletter. So that's all I have to report for right now. I'd just like to be able to move forward and put that process in and kind
I
of work with some
think
folks.
you go ahead and put the plans together, and if there are any major changes, then we'll have a motion to approve.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Old business. What's that?
Is there any update to that flock system? or-
As soon as the grass is green, they're supposed to come and do it, so we're on the waiting list. They were snowing, they couldn't have it marked, but now it's marked, and we will have flock within weeks, hopefully.
Wow,
Up and running, both directions.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't know that we were getting it in. Okay, that was old, any other old business?
Car stickers. That needs to
Is that a good time to bring that up and do a motion?
be really voted
Or,
on.
To change the auto stickers, and that's the only price we'd like to
no,
change?
that's under new business.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay, under new business, we have two motions to make before the board and the audience,
And my variance. And my variance.
and your variance. Well, there's only two on the agenda, so.
Yeah,
But we'll
No,
get
it's-
yours.
We moved it.
It's up under ACC.
We moved it to,
Okay, that's right. Like I said, I'm old. Well, there was an electronic motion and second and voted on to change this meeting from Monday to Friday due to holiday inauguration and some commitments that were made for that particular date and time. So we need to redo that, and I will make the motion to move the board meeting from Monday, does anybody know what the date was? 20th to Friday, the 24th. I need a second.
second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The other motion, and you want to make the motion for this, Dave?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to bring our auto stickers from 25 bucks, where they were originally a couple bucks a piece. They went up to 25, back to 10. My reasoning behind that was I've had a lot of people in here that didn't even buy stickers anymore because they felt that it was kind of nickel and diming you and a little expensive. So we'd like to bring that back to 10 bucks on that stickers only. All other stickers would stay the same at this point. I don't think there's any reason to change any others, but it would be nice to get people back into buying auto stickers for the Raintree automobiles in here. So if they're sitting on a road or something, you at least know they belong in here. You know, if they're down at the beach, obviously that helps you with the new stickers. But I would like to see more people buying them, and hopefully we see that at 10 bucks versus 25. That's it on that.
I will second that motion. Any further discussion?
well, I was just gonna add that I wasn't on the board then, but I happened to be at the meeting when they discussed this, and it was suggested $10, and then someone on the board suggested, hey, why don't we make golf cart auto stickers and hang tags the same cost? And I think part of the compelling reason was if you make them all the same cost, you're more likely to get people to buy hang tags, which was where we were generating the money to make improvements at the beach. And I think if you reduce the auto sticker without the hang tag, then, I mean, my wife and I chose to just buy hang tags rather than auto stickers, just because I was trying to help facilitate the new projects at the beach. But I don't know that we're gonna buy a couple of hang tags at $50 for, if we can buy auto stickers for 10, and auto stickers aren't even required, and so I just thought we should discuss that face to face rather than
So
electronic
the
digitally.
hang tags are probably more often used by
Yes.
friends or guests, is what we
Right, so we
found
have
in
a
the
golf cart,
past.
we drive our golf cart down there, we can park, but if we have more people that can fit on our golf cart, they can use a hang tag, park where the hang tag parking is, and we
Right.
can shuttle them back and forth with our golf cart.
Okay,
But that, I mean, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood what I took away from why those were all the same cost. And just be aware of that it's gonna probably erode or reduce the amount of money that goes towards the beach projects, which I
yeah.
was a huge advocate for then and still would like to see us make some improvements at the beach.
Well, I think, let's try it for a year. If I'm wrong, we'll go back the other way, or, depending on what everybody wants, because this is everybody's house here. But I still would like to make the motion to get these to $10 for now.
Well, you did, and it got seconded. I just thought
That's
that
just
would
additional.
make sure that
Yeah, no,
everyone
no, I-
understood that why I voted no originally was because,
Okay.
I mean, I think that's gonna be some money that was going to beach projects that is gonna be gone now.
I just wanted to say, I'm not sure everybody on the board knows, but the money from the hang tags minus the expense of buying the hang tags
Yes, I'm sorry.
in past boards was earmarked for lakes and beaches improvements.
Mhm.
So the one hot item that I think people were after was the rinse station. So that's, I just wasn't sure if everybody.
Thank you. I should have said that.
We are.
You know, was
We
voted
said
that or
that.
not, but so that, there should be probably close to $26,000, from the hang tags over the last 2 years.
Okay.
Just an FYI, since I've lived here so long, once upon a time, a property owner got 2 extra cards
Yep.
to go to the beach
Hang tags.
with no check.
Extra cards.
So hang tags were given out
There were hang-
as
there was two
and there
hang
were
tags.
2 original
So you
gate
got-
cards.
If you had a visitor that wanted to go to the beach,
They
you
didn't charge
had to be
for
with
them.
them.
Right, I understand.
And those hang tags, they even lasted forever.
Right.
So
Well, I
with
think
those
that was
changes
part
that
of
were
the-
made,
That was part of the idea that the all-in thing was, okay, we're not gonna charge for stickers and trailer stickers and boat stickers and golf stickers, stuff, you pay one amount.
well, I'm definitely gonna say that there was nickel and diamond happening over the last few years that maybe can be done without that, so we'll see.
Say that again, nickel and diamond, that what? that-
Well, I felt like there was stuff that kept going up. Stickers were $2, and they became 25. Boat stickers were $60 if you got it earlier or something, $80, that went to 100. So everything kept increasing. And it would be nice to simplify and get back to maybe where our dues are increased to $100 or something instead of trying to get the money from all the other directions.
Yeah, I just shared this, which if you guys up on your email, you saw it, is, we don't have enough money to take care of this community. And taking income out, because, to me, the math doesn't work. We're not gonna sell enough stickers at $10 a piece to offset what we're gonna bring down in income. And, when we're talking about we need assessments and that, it doesn't make sense right now to take the revenue backwards. I understand people might be upset over it, but, this will be the 3rd year of it.
Well, I'm pretty sure
I want to jump in real quick.
we are actually ahead now than we were
Yeah, I want
last
to
year.
jump in though. Lot owners are very upset because they pay their assessments and come here, and now you want to stick them with another $25 to be able to go to use an amenity that they already paid their thing on. That's where I got a lot of people from. They've already paid their assessment, and now you're going to charge them another. They don't live here, and they only come twice a year, and now you want to charge them $25 to come and use something they've already paid for.
I also think.
Trying to be loud for you. You don't need to be loud.
I'm not disputing any of that part. My only
Right.
play why I'm not in favor of doing this here and now, I'd love to see it happen, don't get me wrong. But we need to go through a budget for 2025, we need to see where, monies are sitting at. I can tell you that our accounts receivable, meaning people that aren't paying their assessment is up, you know, pretty good over the same period of a year ago is, I just, you know, I don't, to me, it's not the right time to do it solely on the money. All the other stuff got its merits, and I don't disagree with all that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I actually suggested maybe $10 at that meeting 2 years ago, but I wasn't on the board, and they said, no, we're gonna make them all the same.
So that's the only point I got.
I want to add to something that you said. I have seen the assessment defaults going up also, and I think that's where we need to focus a lot of attention, because that's where we can bring in a lot of revenue, because there is a very long list of people that are not current on their dues. That's also something that we would like to address at a future date. I don't want to get into it right now, but with the stickers being bought at the first of the year, and then your assessments being paid by the 1st of July, or whatever the date was, there was some confusion last year. It is very difficult to go out to somebody and say, okay, I want you to turn in your boat sticker and your car sticker because you didn't pay your assessments. Previously, we had a situation where you paid your assessments and then you were able to get your stickers for whatever you needed. And to me, that makes more sense than having the stickers being bought and then paying your assessments later. Because if you don't pay your assessments, you shouldn't be able to have a boat, you shouldn't be able to go to the beach, and if you already have your sticker, that's a problem. So that's something we will work on in the future, but right now we're going to finish this motion. All those in favor of the motion signify by raising your hand. Motion carries. 2 dissents.
Hey, John, you need to tell Bobby to change the CPM billing system for that, because they can't sell stickers, because they go at $25 right now.
Oh,
So it's a quick change, but you just need to make sure you tell them.
yeah, I'll email.
Okay, Ken.
Oh, so the ACC has forwarded a request, a variance request. We approved that on 9801 West Vista to a variance to replace and expand an existing boat cover as a result of previously approved boat slip expansion and rotting material discovered during the project, so therefore the entire project exceeds our square foot limit. But it should be grandfathered in. Here's a little bit of supporting. There was a boat cover there that does exceed our 1,200 square foot limit and did prior to, actually in the notes, in the rules, it's 30 by 40. And we're looking at changing that to a total square footage like we do everything else. However, we approved the extension of his boat slip so he could get a larger boat in, and then he asked to add to his boat cover about 6 feet and then an overhang. In the process of doing that, realized that the existing structure is rotted, and so he's going to tearing it all down and replacing the entire boat cover in addition to the new areas. So it'll be closer to 1,464 square feet. Which is about 168 square feet more than the previous structure. But, I mean, it certainly looks nicer and is much safer. And I think seeing how he would grandfather in his previous structure, and we approved his boat slip extension, I'm not sure how we would not cover the extension of his boat cover as well.
Can I ask how far are we extending the cover?
6 feet.
So,
We're not making it 6 feet longer, 6 feet deeper on the one end.
just where the boat pulls in, basically?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
With a 2 foot overhang around.
Okay. And the 2 foot overhang, is that in addition to that
No,
1,400
that's
square
the
foot, or is that
total. If I
included?
did the math right, that's the
Okay,
total.
gentlemen,
Got it.
is that a motion?
I said that's a motion.
Okay, we need a second before we discuss.
I'll second.
Okay, now you can discuss.
I have nothing further to add.
Oh, my.
I'm good.
Sorry.
That's all right. If the discussion is complete, then all those in favor of the motion that Kent put to extend the boat cover signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay,
I'll get with you about the motion. It's the same one that we had.
I have a technical question now.
Oh, okay.
When I do the minutes, do I put the motion before what he had to say about it?
You don't even need to put all that stuff down, just say that we
Okay,
motion.
okay,
We had a motion, a
The
second, a
motion
short
is-
discussion, and it was voted on.
okay,
Yeah, no, I think that will be
Good
sufficient.
question.
thank you.
Any additional new business?
Is this, I asked about communication guidelines.
Mhm.
Is that where you want to talk about that? No?
Be fine.
So I see emails that, that are addressed to the entire board, and I don't know if someone has responded or not, who the most appropriate person to respond is, and then what they've responded. So a couple of things, I'd like to see us have a guideline as a 24 or 48-hour response time. Remember when we first started, we handed out the things, said that the board would be responsive and responsible, et cetera. And I don't know if somebody else has, plus I had an incident where somebody asked me a question and I gave them my answer, and they said, oh, well, that's not what we were told by somebody else. And so I think it makes us not look like we're functioning well together. So I'd like to see us have, just like some work, have a clean desk policy. You don't go home until your desk is cleaned up. I'd like to do something, have some guidelines for responses to emails. There was one that said, well, asked about a right of first refusal on lots. I have no idea what the answer is, but I'm interested in knowing in case someday I have to answer that question. And so I see all these emails that come to the entire board, or like when I used to repair the gates, somebody'd say incident, gates down, I would write repaired or something, and then I knew it was taken care of, or everybody knew it was taken care of. So I'd like us to have something like that where we get some more communication.
Am I sending too many emails?
Oh, no, this is completely different. This has nothing to do with what you're doing. I'm saying, when we get an email to the board, and I can give you some examples if you want to, but we don't need to do that here. I'm just saying, I get emails that come to the entire board, and I don't know if anybody's answered them or not, or what they've answered, and I don't think we want to be telling people different opinions. I think we should have a unified
I think if you hit reply all, I'm pretty sure it goes to all of us and there's a chain. Then you have to scroll through.
Okay, I'll show you, after the meeting, I'll show you all the emails I'm talking about, that are to the board, and there's not a response to them. That's what I would like,
Yeah.
reply all.
And I think
Yeah,
that
hey,
one
there's,
question.
the back gate is down, okay, and then whoever decided to go fix it, you just write repaired or resolved, or if somebody wanted something about right of first refusal, and I have no idea how to answer that, but I don't know if somebody was or not.
I think that question went to CPM. Now, my knowledge, we do not have a first right of refusal on anything unless that
But let's not get down into the
particular
weeds and look
seller.
at specifics. I'm saying, at 50,000 feet, can we just all respond to everyone so that we all have a unified message? And we know what each other's,
Yeah, as
Now,
far
I
as-
know that it's been addressed.
I've had good communication, so we'll look at what you
Okay.
got and we'll go from there.
So it is a good idea to respond to all when you respond.
Can I add something, well, similar topic? I noticed that when some emails do come through, and you may notice too, that the response at the bottom of the email, I can send everybody how to change that setting so that when you respond, it's at the top. So you don't have to go all the way through because sometimes somebody has it set at the top and somebody else has it set at the bottom and the chain's not in any order anymore.
Yeah.
You can make it
So
conversation.
I can send where the setting is in there.
That would be good.
So that way everybody, you do the setting, when you go to respond, it's right at the top of the email versus.
Instead of all the way to the bottom. That would be good.
Okay.
I mean, like, here's what my husband and I are pursuing, purchase of a lot at Raintree. That being said, we're considering this lot or any information regarding liens as soon as possible. So, I mean, I don't know if somebody responded to them or not, or if they're just saying, well, Raintree doesn't respond. You know what I mean? I think we have to be responsive.
That one I believe Haley was working on right away.
That's CPM.
Okay. All right.
And following what you said, CPM also needs to be aware that we need to understand their responses. So if they get a question, then they should respond to all of us as opposed to just keeping it within their
Or if
confines.
it's a CPM issue, I don't even know that I need to know about it, but I would like to know from my own knowledge. If somebody asked me the same thing,
Honestly, I think we ought to be involved in any response that CPM
Okay.
does to anybody.
well, then we need to make a list of questions that should be directed to CPM. I don't know. if
Please do, I've got a whole list of things
Okay.
I'm gonna go to them with, so anything that you wanna put on there. You know, we pay their salary, so therefore they work for us, we don't work for them.
They probably already have a list of things that they address regularly. I think we should get with them and, okay. I think that would be beneficial for the community.
Okay. That's something I've been working on, and my list grows daily almost. Any additional new business?
Thank you.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.
The open forum is now open. Mary Jean?
Question and answer.
Just a minute, Joe.
I'd like to address the contract for Brazil for the snow removal. I think people need to look at that, and I don't understand how one person can remove a contract without the board approving it when it had to be approved by the board for them to get the contract. That's one question.
We'll take that.
So I can answer that, Jerry, a little bit. Whenever I looked at this contract, we don't feel that it's an exclusive contract, that he does have the right to do all the work. And I've got some invoices that I do want to get out to you guys, and I'll print copies of the first 3 months of 1L doing some chores for us.
I'm just speaking about the snow removal in the contract.
Yeah, well, at this point, Jerry, we have a message from John that says that he's okay with it. So I don't know if you read that, you put that out there. I'm trying to get a bid on apples to apples for the mowing portion, and we've been waiting a couple months for that now from John. So we'll take it at that we're still negotiating with John for some of the work to be done in Raintree.
The thing that I have the problem with is, this is something that he uses for every single one of his jobs as a contract. It states on it, Raintree subdivision, 3-year contract with an option of 2 additional years after the first 3 years, signed by the president of the board.
Is
This
there
is a document.
I know, but is there a beginning or ending date on that document? So the first thing for the contract, there are rules and, some stuff, and you do gotta go back and look at, was it done correctly? But that's stuff that we'll be discussing with John. And-
You're not answering the question that I asked.
Well, some of the stuff, I think I have actually answered.
No, you haven't.
Okay,
The
well,
question I asked was, How can one person break a contract that they bid on, the person bid on it, there was 3 bids brought in, he won the bid voted by the board, it was signed by the president of the board, and then one person comes in and says, we don't need you.
So over the last few months, that we got these invoices from, have you noticed that some of the ditches and stuff have not been cut?
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about this,
I know,
and the
but Jerry-
snow removal.
It has to be apples to apples to start with, and most of the bidding was not apples to apples bidding to what was actually done here prior.
There was 3 bids. They were over here, Scott Clark put them over here to show what they were and who bid on them. And then the winning bid was 1L, L1.
Yeah,
And
I've had
that's-
discussions with 1L, and it sorry, I didn't include you in on those discussions.
I don't need to be included, and I don't think that,
Okay.
that was a very nice,
We've gone over the 2 minutes now, so somebody else.
my question wasn't answered though.
Joe,
Joe?
you were out.
Sir, I'd like to know if you could move the food trucks away from the beach so that there's no parking down there for the people that want to use the facilities. Could you put them over on the campground side or?
I think we definitely discussed this between you guys and the board. I like that idea if we can find a spot for them.
You know, people walk from the water to the food truck. Why can't they just walk across the road to the food truck, maybe?
That was already discussed, they were gonna put a slab over there and put the food truck on it.
Okay, that will continue to be discussed and we'll make a decision prior to Memorial Day.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said that we will continue to discuss that and make a decision prior to Memorial Day.
Thank you, sir.
Gentleman with the hat in the back.
My name's Joe McIntyre, I live here. Follow up on what you said here. I know contract law, okay? If this gentleman had a signed contract by our board and we violated that contract, so if he wants to, he can sue us for damages. Now, according to what Dave just said, he's not going to do that or doesn't intend upon doing that. But we violated a signed contract, and if it wasn't with somebody that lived here, we would be facing a lawsuit right now. No board has the right, one person on the board, to violate a contract when it's signed by the president and voted on. The other issue with it is, we owe this man some money.
No, we don't.
Because I
Yes, we
heard,
do.
and if this is true.
Yes, we do.
Well, just wait a
So
minute.
who signed you off?
Okay, if this is true, that they came out and prepared our trucks, you guys did a great job, I think, with the snow removal. But if he paid his employees to set these trucks up for us, the least we should do for him is reimburse him for those
He
expenses.
was paid.
Yeah, he was paid.
Well, nobody said that. Nobody has let the
Okay, I
public
just
know.
did.
So I want to add to
Listen,
this
Jim,
after you.
That's not necessary, okay? We're allowed to have a contract discussion here, okay?
Thank you.
Now, the gentleman has the right to sue us, and he'll get more than what we should have paid him for fixing the trucks, if that happened. If it didn't happen, okay. But the point is, we cannot violate contracts that we sign just because we don't like the contract.
Also, part of this, and I'm just my discussion back to everyone, we had a meeting here with John, and there was a month that we asked him to idle and not do anything until further discussed. And we still got a very large bill for a point there, and we will be going over these discussions with you guys, with John. But there's also, if we have direction, that direction has to be followed. And we did go into an idle direction, and we will be discussing that further with John and with you guys once we get this negotiation done.
Okay, but the owner of the company has a right to recover damages that we caused him.
Okay?
I always have several things. You can cut me off when you want, and I'll circle back around. One thing, Dave, so when I was kind of on the security technology thing on the last board, and I didn't get contacted on this one. But we talked about putting cameras up in the ceiling here to record so that we don't have Deb having to do this thing. And I know that we were talking about doing that, and we had kind of had a budget kind of going and everything. Did you look into that at all, or have you contacted the previous security guy or technology guy? Because I got his name if you need to get a hold of him.
Yeah,
And
so,
he can go ahead and talk to you about it.
so on that, there's been some discussions with, go ahead,
Yeah,
John.
okay, so we were all in the meeting together.
Oh, yes, you're on the committee
He
with
knows
me.
everything about that. He
Okay.
knows all the numbers, he knows all the camera systems that we looked at
Okay.
and things, so yeah.
Because I think that
moving forward,
would-
Dave's just starting, so he's got a lot of information to go through, but yeah, it's still on the
Okay,
list.
so that's still on the agenda,
Definitely,
okay.
yeah.
Just wanted to make sure about that.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can cut me off anytime you want. Then, so not only the snow removal, but are we also looking to replace John with grass cutting as well? I mean, I just
Where
want to
we're
be ahead
at-
of it.
No,
you know?
where we're at, and I asked him this 2 months ago, is I want an apples to apples
Mhm.
price
Yes,
to cut all the grass, including everything that was cut by Tom's crew on a regular basis whenever we, most ditches, I would say most, I don't know if we had any roads in here that the ditches weren't cut every month. One pass, I think, for the majority of the roads. I don't remember which we had this September of seeing grass every bit of 18 inches tall, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but it was tall, growing up in the ditches where it used to be cut.
yeah. So I mean, you're outbidding that as well with John? I mean, you're trying to get another bid on
So
that
we
part.
had, yeah,
Good, sorry.
we had the bids, and
Okay,
I just
all right.
want John to give me a bid exactly
So
how
you're
Tom-
redoing the contract basically with John?
Yeah,
I mean, in
I don't
a
know,
way.
in a way, I don't think we need to, but I just want to get an exact number, so if we have John do the grass, we need to know what that number's gonna be.
Okay,
And
not all these questions are coming from me, you gotta understand.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
You're gonna cut me off right now? That's all right.
Somebody in the back.
I just have a question, going back to the one up. What, as a board, what is your process? Did you all, like, communicate through email or whatever to say, hey, we're not gonna do 1L, they're not snow plowing? Did you vote on it as a board, or was it a one-person decision? Because I just wanna see how the board is working. Did you all know that they were not doing 1L?
So,
when
I
it
mean,
came?
Jerry made a statement that it was everything's done by one person. There's several statements that I don't know if it's necessarily true. By any means.
Well, can we just
Well,
have the answer?
clarification.
Yeah,
Can we just have the answer to that?
This
Who
is not,
said
none of
no?
these decisions are made by one person.
It was, it was.
How do you know that?
Okay,
I know.
the other lady,
Well, wait a
Yeah,
minute,
no,
I mean,
no,
are
you're
you
done.
just, no, I just wanna ask, what, I mean, did you have a process where you all kinda like talked
No.
and decided, or was it just a couple of you? I
Well, there
mean,
was 3 of us in that meeting with John, and
So that means there was 2 of you. John.
okay, the
3
lady,
of us.
Okay.
I got it.
but you
I
didn't
know.
vote on it as a board, you didn't vote on
I
it.
try to give everybody the opportunity to talk. If you wanna keep talking, we're gonna stop. Now, there's a lady that's, right, that just raised her hand.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I want to know what CAB operating account, CAB special assessment, CAB assessment improvement, and CAB lake dredging needs.
John, you know what those?
Oh, you're the treasurer.
That's one 320.
Yeah, you're the treasurer.
They're just the names of the bank accounts. CAB is the bank that it's at. I do not know that, or recall what CAB stands for. But the operating account is the new version of Midwest Bank, Raintree OP, so that eventually will close. Midwest ICS, that's the overflow of the bank account, so the FDIC insurance stays in place. And there's a CAB ICS account. Again, CAB is just the name of the bank where the account's at. Special assessment is the money that was collected from the security special assessment that hasn't been paid yet. Asset
I really
improvement
just wanted to know what
really
CAB. But I would like to know why the financial person doesn't know the answer.
Well, part of the reason that we're still struggling is that our CMP is very slow in getting their finances done. We should have been out of Midwest Banking Center, as far as I'm concerned, 2 months ago. We still aren't. We haven't gotten the budget that we requested. We haven't gotten where the banks are. So we are still struggling with getting information from CPM. And we will continue to work with them until we can get all of our questions answered. We don't have all those questions answered right now.
Do they have all the information from the city and village? Because I think that's where, me going back through all these old accounts, there's a lot of stuff that was city and village, or even before that, and CPM says, we don't have that, we don't have that information from city and village. So I think there's a lot of reasons why this is going slow, but we'll get there. Just everybody be patient and it'll happen.
Okay, the gentleman in the hat.
Yeah, my name is Bob Harrell, and I got a question to Dave. You had mentioned something about an in-house engineer for the Summer Lake Dam. What does that mean?
Kent knows somebody that lives in here that's helped him a little bit. All right, so we want to call him and get some advice from him, and also hire an actual engineer to come out and look at the issues that you had brought up. And hopefully there's not an issue big enough where that lake needs to be drained. You know, because I don't think the people that live around there want that to happen either, so.
Well, you know, it has, whatever has to be done. Now, I got two more questions real quick. Now, after the meeting, I got two aerial views of the dam you might be interested in.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
No, I appreciate it.
And the second question is, do you, the board, do you guys have like a long-term plan for the next 2, 3, or 4 years about snow removal? I mean, have you thought that far, or is this just a one going by year, or?
Well, some of these questions, it can't be answered until all negotiations are done. So to answer that question, I hope the system that was used could keep going forward. I think it worked out okay. I think that was a good, to handle that storm was no joke. I mean, I think the guys did incredible for what it was.
Could have been worse.
Anybody that was clearing their own driveways and stuff, realized that stuff was stuck pretty good. So I can't answer 100% definite that question right now.
Well, if it's going to be long-term and you need to carry in, I think you should probably, might well consider carrying insurance on your volunteers if you can.
They were added prior to any of them getting in a truck, just to let everybody know in Raintree that they were added to the insurance prior to any of them driving a truck.
That should have been put out to the community.
Okay.
This whole thing should have put us in the community.
Okay, so I just have to ask the question, or just kind of rebuke that, Dave. I don't think it was done very well. I think it was a problem. I think it could have been better. I think a professional company would have done it better. It was a hell of a storm, and at the end, it's pretty clear. Wish I could have walked up the steps just now, but there was a car in the way, and then there's ice blocking that.
We have a gutter issue that we didn't know was draining on the steps till 24 hours ago or whatever, so all the liquid still coming off the roof is
So 24 hours ago, again, got to be on top of this stuff. If you're going to do this, if you're going to volunteer, and apparently that's where we're at now. Everything's going to be volunteered for. We're going to break contracts, or we're just going to ignore contracts, and then we're just going to take on volunteers and expect volunteers to be here at the beck and call. And it might have worked this time once, but I believe that most of you guys are probably married, have families, and you probably had a lot of other things you could have been doing than doing that. And next time around, are you still going to volunteer that time? And are the trucks still going to be ready to go? And how much wear and tear are we going to do on those trucks because they're older, they're not new, you already got one dump truck that wasn't used at all. The truck that could have been made the most damage and it wasn't used, so it wasn't ready. Got batteries and oil changes for the other one, great, that's wonderful. But I don't think it was prepared. I don't think it was a professional decision for this subdivision.
So I'll
Whatever you
stay,
wanna call this place,
you can
but-
educate me on how to do it better.
No, I can't. No, but I'm not asking you to do that.
No, I'm just saying, if you think that it could have been better, then I will
You
definitely listen.
coulda
I
kept
am
with it.
going to listen.
You could have kept with the professional company. If they would have gone out there and done this job right now, and we would be here right now, I think I'd be saying, break the contract. They
Okay,
didn't
I
do
can
the
tell
job.
you that DeSoto, Festus, and St. Louis all had street problems, and they have professionals.
And they are a big municipality. We are a small community compared to them, and
We
we're
have
devoted to do
probably
this.
more
And
roads than they
the other
do.
maintenance crew were able to do this with the 3 trucks, 3 people, and would they have had troubles doing it? Yes, they would have.
Yes.
But I gotta tell you, on the second day, when Plantation is not even cleared, Column's not even cleared, we have, as we know, because it came out, we have medical professionals here, first responders and stuff, that need to get out of the subdivision. And they couldn't.
So 2
They're
years
losing
ago-
pay, they're losing, they're not taking care of their patients properly. So I just don't think it was done properly. I don't think the roads were done in the right order. They should have started from the front and worked fast.
Snow
This,
route.
this plantation should have been cleared off
Okay,
right
I
away.
think you've made your point. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
move on.
I brought this, I passed it around just a little bit, if some people didn't see it, I'm sorry. I want to make this for the beach, okay? Of course, this is probably got to, I wanted to bring it to Scott, so I want to build something like that, Scott.
Cool.
And put it along, I want to connect it to the seawall, the wall, back and
That's a
back.
good idea.
I don't know if it's going to be
John,
2 by,
Leslie?
I don't know if it's going to be 2 by 6, if it's going to be 2 by 8. It's not going to be any more than
Just
2
the return
foot
voice.
deep.
Yeah.
And maybe 2 foot depth,
Well, we're
so
working on
that
that.
some people can reach down in there and get it. But it's basically for kids. So it's basically for kids that if they want to bring toys to the beach and drop them and leave them off, and then, that way people aren't bringing their stuff every month or every week to the beach. They can kind of put it, it's just a community little spot where everybody can leave their little toy shovels, buckets, whatever for the kids. So that's what I kind of wanted to go, but I didn't want to put anything on
we're
property
working on signage.
without having a.
We're just trying to work on new signage for the beach area too, John.
Well, if so, can we get a sign, something like that, because I was gonna carve it into I was just gonna put, just carve it in, but.
That'd get used good.
Okay, so I might talk to you about that, but, so that was.
There you
Okay.
But that was one thing.
It's a
Just
beach
another
toy
thing, future board meetings, we're not gonna hold them all on Friday, are we? This was just a one-time deal for.
Right now, it's been a one-time deal.
Okay, that's good. But no, I have to ask this because this is not my question, so I'm a different person. I'm speaking for somebody else right now. The Rules Committee, is the Rules Committee ever gonna be started back up again? And I was told to ask this tonight, so don't crucify me.
There is no plans at this point, but it's not definite. CPM has the rules, they have the incident reports, they have, all of that goes into their portal, so there really isn't a great need for that. Any violations that are put in will be put to the board, and then we can decide whether we continue to need a rules committee.
Okay.
Right now, there's not a lot of rules being broken.
Well,
So-
it's in winter, you know.
Exactly.
So Scott, I got the okay to kind of make something like this then,
Yes, sir.
and I can attach it to the seawall down there.
Yes, sir.
I'll just buy some anchors, put
Okay,
it in
yeah.
there. Okay,
You need,
I'm going.
you need somebody
But I'll
else.
put my hand back up,
Gentlemen
because I
in
still
the
got
back.
2 more questions.
Kudos to the board for our road on Sunrise Trail. Thank you, guys. It's perfect.
Thank you.
All from the real job.
Gentleman in the back. Yes, you.
I was just wondering how much money we saved by doing it ourselves, approximately. I mean, this is the worst storm in our 14 years I've ever seen. We're talking ice, we're not talking snow. I mean, Cozell wouldn't have gone over these roads just one time. And every time we would have gone over them, it would have been another $9,000. I mean, we saved money, and we're looking for money.
Yeah, the good thing is, like I say, Joe, we're much further ahead now,
Right.
and we'll get those exact
And
numbers.
we don't know, we
But-
could have had a couple more like this too. So we could easily spend $75,000, $80,000.
No,
Easy.
Yes.
it's not 9,000 for the
Huh?
child.
Okay, lady with her hand up.
What insurance policy did you add the volunteers to?
I'm sorry.
What insurance policy did you add the volunteers to?
To the auto policy that we have.
Right, so do you have a workers' compensation insurance policy?
No.
You dropped it, didn't you?
Yep.
So all those people that were working on those trucks, if they'd have fallen off and got run over, no
So
coverage?
I'll go into more of that later, but I think the,
Don't have to, I know for
no,
sure.
I'm saying I'm not sure that the other people have workman's comp in our subdivision that are doing work.
What other people have workers' comp?
We're talking about
the
volunteers.
You gotta call me one more time. So my thing is, I mean, let's cut to the chase.
Which can just.
Everybody's calling these people volunteers, but are they volunteers or are they paid employees? Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to pay people to do this, because I don't have a problem with that.
So-
However, you know, there's a difference between volunteers and paid employees. And I wanna know, you know, I would love to see, and I just got to, by the way, I love John, or Jim, the way we finally got something, you know, in, as far as the budget goes, you know, but we still didn't see the paid bills and stuff like that. We'll get there, I get that. And I'm not opposed to paying people to drive the snow, and I'm not opposed to insuring people. I'm opposed to calling them volunteers when they're paid employees.
So two of
That's
them
my
can,
thing.
two of them can, were paid $25 an hour, 1099. So that's it.
1099.
25 bucks an hour. The other 3, me, Scott, Scott's son, completely volunteered.
Oh. Good for your son.
He was a toll tier.
That's good.
If you'd gotten hurt, would you have sued?
No, we were on the insurance policy.
No, you weren't, not for workers' comp.
So I'm personally,
Okay.
I personally don't sue our subdivision ever, and I hope nobody in this room wants to.
If you want to say something or ask a question, you will wait to be recognized, or we will stop. Now, I've already told you I'm old and can't hear. When there are multiple people talking, I don't know what you're saying.
I only have one more.
I think I'm the only person in this room that has a watch. You have 2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes. The other thing is, quite honestly, is communication from the board to the community. And I'm just trying to help you guys out here. We used to get, I mean, I know my wife, she used to print me out a weekly or a monthly thing stating, you know, hey, the board says this, and I can't even remember, the Raintree communications or whatever it was. And she would print that out for me and put it next to my cup of coffee in the morning, because that's the guy I am. And I haven't gotten one in a long time. And I'm just wondering, are we going to, you know, communication needs to be a little bit more Hey, on Facebook, people were bitching about how the other board was so non-transparent, no transparent. And I'm finding a hard time to find some information, what's going on in my community in the past few months. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And I don't know who's in charge of putting out a newsletter of sort for the month or whatever. But if they could contact one of the other board members, the board member that was in charge of it before, it was really nice. I mean, I think everybody would like to have a little bit more communication. That's
So
it.
what I heard you say is you're not gonna say anything else?
That was it. I'm done.
He's somebody.
That was my last thing of the 8. I made my way through it.
Jerry G?
Okay, I have, this is going back again, but the thing that I really would like the board to think about is how much money John Quazell lost with that being taken. I mean, at the last minute it was gone. He didn't have, he could have gone out and had all kinds of jobs to do, and he didn't because this was in the last minute. I want you to think about that. And then he was also, K&S teamed up with him. Now, that broke a contract too. So K&S can come back and sue him if they want to for breaking, because it was the broken contract. He's the one that brought him in, John was. So, I mean, I just think there's a lot of stuff that people don't think about. And this name is getting put through the mud on social media, which is terrible. But he's always been an outstanding person in our community, and he does good things for people.
We've got a lot of outstanding people in our community.
So,
I like it.
the other thing, I'm not going to bring up anything else. One thing I would like to say is, I think that this board really needs to stop and think of what they're saying before they come out and say it. Because the way the board is coming across, not you, and it's just, you're being very rude the way you talk to people. And that is not right. And I don't think that we deserve to be treated that way.
So Jerry, I want you to look at all the posts you've done over the last 3 years and also take that into consideration as well.
I know what my posts say,
Okay.
and I always look.
I will admit that I am a stickler for time. And I have said that you have 2 minutes. Everybody that's gotten up, except for a couple of people that had very short thing, has violated that. Now, if you want to say something, be precise, concise, and get to the point.
I just did, and I got interrupted.
You have been talking for 3.5 minutes.
I'll sit down and then I'll raise my hand again.
I have a question about the statement of revenues and expenses. So if I'm reading this right, the first current period would be the month of December, is that correct?
What's that?
That the month of December is the current period?
This is the month date for December.
No, the statement of revenues and expenses, not the balance statement.
I made an Excel sheet, is that the one you're looking at?
No, this one right here, the statement of revenues and expenses.
Oh, it's one of these, right, it's the second
Right on the
page.
top, statement of revenues and expenses. 12/1 to 12/31, so it says the current period.
Yep.
So that to me would be December then, right, of 24? There's salaries for 22,000. What is that? Who would have a salary at 22,000 for 1 month?
Haley?
22,000 for 1 month? That's 1 month. I want a job.
Bring one to bring.
I thought Haley was employed by CPM. CPM employee.
She's not actually hiring. Okay.
Right. This is a legitimate, I'm really asking the
No,
question,
it's-
what is that number?
That is, if you're looking at line 7,900 salaries,
Yeah,
it's a budget. The actual has 0 in it. It's got a dash.
Ah, my bad, I see it, my bad, got it, okay.
Gentleman in the hat.
I'd like to make some suggestions, and it's probably not going to go over.
Thank you.
I'm going to say it. I know we're under a financial problem, and Scott and all you guys did the best you could for a problem. When we renegotiate another contract, why don't we do something like, we have snow routes in here, correct?
Yes.
Why don't we have a contractor do the snow routes and you volunteers do the side streets? Save us thousands of dollars. That's an option. Okay? It's good, it's a good option. The second thing I want to say is, all this information is all outdated. This is December stuff. You need on your agenda, you need a category to talk about immediate ongoings. I don't know how you want to word it or what you want to call it, but things that happen in the community the last 3 or 4 weeks. Because we hear what we hear on Facebook and on Nextdoor and whatever other social media that comes out. And it's not very positive for you guys. I'll be honest with you. I read it all. I don't post. I don't like it.
I would rather see,
But there needs to be an agenda on here, every board meeting, of things that happened recently. We wouldn't be having all this discussion if you guys had come out and say, you know, last Tuesday, we canceled the contract with 1L. Or the truck broke down, we didn't have enough snow plows.
I think everything we talked about was in the last 4
But
weeks.
there's nothing in here, nothing at all. This is old news, this is December's information. So you either have to move your board meetings closer to the first of the month to get the information out to the public, to the people. Correct? This is all old stuff. How many of you guys, you read social media and you don't like what you read?
So please don't use social media for factual.
Well, we don't get
And please don't use that as our method of getting information out, because
I got one thing to say to that. I have a site on my phone for Raintree. There is nothing updated on it.
is it with Nextdoor or Facebook?
No,
Next,
Our website.
Raintree's, their website. I have it on my phone. I look at it. Nothing is updated on it.
I'll take a look at that.
Close the website.
There's some transition there. So, Nicole Larmy was doing it, and we're working on that transition as well.
Oh, that was my question, what, I didn't hear you, they're transitioning away from Nicole, is that
I
correct?
think,
She's transitioning away from us.
yeah, I tried to keep her, I wanted her to stay for, you know, I had no problem with her. I wanted her to stay. I know she was $300 a month, but I thought she was well worth $300. And unfortunately, she said it a few times and got her to keep going, and then now I think she threw her hands up again.
She has too many other things.
Is there somebody taking minutes?
Lady in the back.
I just wanted to say that I've offered to help anybody with the newsletters, communications, and nobody's reached out. So I just wanted to.
So earlier, let me comment on this one.
Are you doing
Okay.
MailChimp and all, I mean, did MailChimp, we did the newsletters, we did all. So I've reached out, but
So
From the board.
we may actually reach out to you because just this week I proposed a communication strategy that would increase communications to the community, as well as ensuring that the website is the primary source of truth, with communications coming out of CPM and maybe some feature ads like SMS if you want, it's text messaging. So I may reach out to you and we'll have a conversation.
I have a question. Do you still do Otter AI? Is that still, John, do you
Yes.
still have that?
I don't know about, I don't use it.
No,
Okay,
I'm using it now.
Just real quick, that, I mean, for me as a secretary and Mary Lou, it was a godsend for me because it records the meeting.
Yeah.
It puts it down in text, and I could, because it wasn't the official minutes, because all the minutes were the motions, that's the official. I was able to get what happened in a board meeting. My goal was, board meeting on Monday, by Friday, you got the AI summary. And property owners, I think, like that, just because if they weren't able to get to the meeting, it was, and it said, this is an AI, and it was produced, it's not worth it, but I could edit it, so to speak, and take the names out, which I did that myself, because in AI, it would say, John said this, and it really was
Yeah,
Dave Wolf.
it transcribes the
Yes,
entire meeting.
It transcribes it, but it says the wrong name, so you have to do some editing, but it was a godsend on getting it.
So on a caveat to that, some of the technology discussions that John and I have had as well, that there is an inclusion of technology within a conferencing system that we're kind of looking at that does this as well. So we would still have that function. I think we should talk. I think we could.
Well, and John, honestly, John on the board, he's the one who mentored me. So you got an advocate
I work
and
very
an
closely with
expert
John.
right there.
Yep, yep,
Because John is awesome at that.
yep.
Anybody else? Jerry?
Okay. I have the statement from 11/1 to 11/30. And under operating expenses, it's number 8055 grounds. It's $12,800. That's the actual.
I guess I don't have November's in front of me, but
Was that after?
No. I can show it to you.
yeah, sure.
So, more than likely, that's 1L's bill.
Well, why wouldn't it say that then, instead of grounds?
Well, they were working on some grounds for us. Yeah, the monthly bills, was a 15,000, 17,000, and a 2,900. What's this for? And that's per the month? Or that's what we paid so far?
Actual.
Okay.
That would be for the
Correct.
month.
So I think that inflate was the first, probably bill of 1L.
Yeah, that's October one was. 15,400 some change. Dave, show her that last bill where it shows we got paid for snowplows, when we paid John.
Yeah, just so all this is John's bills, Jerry. I don't know if you've seen John's bill, but, yeah, 15,000, 17,000.
As
Okay.
I have tried to explain, we are still trying to understand everything that CPM is giving us. It is very different than it used to be when we were doing our own books. And they are not quite as receptive as I thought they might be, but we will try to get things worked out.
Why do they have miscellaneous?
Jerry, I don't know. That's the best I can tell you at this point.
Well, Jerry,
It'd be nice to know,
a
it'd be
profit
nice
and
to know
loss
what
system,
it's, what that
profit
money's
and loss
for.
system and a GL is not going to list every single vendor in it that you have. It's a summary of the financials.
Well, we always, for the month, we got the checks.
the
What check was
checklist.
written for how much?
The financial report has that in it, so it's a matter of.
And that's what I mean, it just says miscellaneous.
if we're
Okay, is there anybody else?
forward or not.
Going once, going twice. Meeting is adjourned.
You're done.
Okay.